So in preparation for this weekend, which is the Greece vote, if you thought the other day when I posted a video of them taking out, the people taking out $100 to $500 million or euros per day out of the banking system, the highest figure was 500 million. That's just doubled. I'm curious to know where that'll be tomorrow, which is Thursday, and Friday, which would be the last day that they could really go and do that. So this is from Zero Hedge, of course. Yesterday we did an update of the Greek bank jog, when noting that between 100 to 500 million euros per day was being withdrawn from Greek banks. Based on Marini reports, 24 hours later, the jog has become a trot, almost to a run, with the most recent estimate from Reuters now estimated at nearly double. Combined daily with deposit outflows from the major Greek banks have reached 500 to 800 million euros over the past few days, with the pace picking up as the election draws closer and rising noticeably on Tuesday, two bankers said. This is roughly $1 billion a day in the uppercase, and a number that is approaching 0.5% of the entire documented $170 billion, now likely much less, their deposit base. So it's a 170 billion euro deposit base. At that rate of doubling the estimate by Friday, the trot will be an all-out sprint, and Greece will be experiencing a $4 billion at that moment per day, which should be the last day, outflows. We wonder which banks will have any cash left at that point. How much of this is fact and how much pre-election rumor mongering to scare people from voting against Syriza remains to be seen. Due to the polling moratorium, it is impossible to get any grasp of which is the most popular party in Greece currently, even if the polls that had been released had the accuracy of an Excel random number generator. So, I mean, first of all, when they're withdrawing that's how much is leaving the banks. That doesn't necessarily mean, not even necessarily, it does not mean people are actually walking into the bank one by one, pulling out their entire life savings. While I know people are doing that there, everybody can't do that, or the bank run would have been on, it'd been over. There's no cash available. Have a nice day. But, again, the original article, and this one too, mentions, matter of fact, I think it even mentioned it in this one piece here. They're basically putting money into... Oh, what does it say? What does it say? I don't even see it anymore. But, you know, U.S. Treasury bonds, German bunds, which are bonds, you know, probably some different hedge funds out of the country, that kind of thing, out of the Eurozone. And that's where they're staking it. So a lot of it could be a simple wire transfer to some other account or some other brokerage firm. So actually no physical cash, whatever, is leaving the banks. At least in that respect. But you know darn well, the average or lower class, whatever person, middle class, lower class, that doesn't have all that much money to their name anyways, isn't thinking like that. They're just going to go to the bank and say, can I have my cash? So Thursday and Friday, tomorrow again would be Thursday, and then we have Friday is the last day that they're going to really be able to pull money out of the bank before the weekend. And this vote is on Sunday this weekend, so got to see where that goes. So this is one single country. It was the first of the big, not even a big country, but the first big news of the Eurozone of being a problem. It was Greece, and Portugal's got some of that. Ireland's got some of that. Spain is now in the big-time spotlight, as that freaking guy, Nigel Farage, just said. I posted that video in Parliament over there in the EU. He says, let me get this straight. Spain gets favorable interest rate for this $100 billion bailout at 3%, in which Italy has to come up with 20% of that on its own to put in its share to help Spain. But Italy doesn't have it either, so they're going to go out on the market and get it and pay 7% to get it. So they're going to pay 7% to give it to Spain at 3%. That's like a bank, you know, I mean, it is, by far, about to use an analogy. That's exactly what it is. You know, a bank giving you a loan for a house, and they never had it to begin with, so they had to go get it out on the open market from some other financial entity. Now, maybe that's the case as long as they got the loan for, you know, 2% interest, and they're selling it back to you for your home, you know, or forwarding it to you, if you will, at, say, 4 or 5%. Well, then it makes sense, because as long as you make your payments, they're going to be able to make their payments and take some profit off the top. That's because they got a loan for 2% to give to you. You, on the other hand, are paying that bank back 5%. So they get a 3% profit. Could you imagine that bank giving you a loan for a mortgage or anything? Here's $100,000, sir, for, you know, this house. And we're going to give it to you at 5%. Okay, I'll take it. And in the background, the bank that had that money is actually having to pay, you know, 8%. This is, you'd be fired. I mean, you'd be fired immediately. You'd probably even be, there'd probably be charges filed against you that there's no way you could possibly make an accident, make a mistake, and give someone a loan that in which you're supposed to make the company some profit. You didn't do that. You didn't even break even. You actually are losing money as long as this deal is in pay. And who's going to pay for that 7% fee to give Spain this $100 billion euro bailout? $100 billion. That's just the beginning. It's the first time. Do you remember when it was just the beginning for Greece? A few $1 billion turned to 10 billion, turned to tens of billions, and then 100 billion, and another 100 billion. That's little, tiny, minuscule Greece. And it took a whole year and a half now, or however long it's taken finally, to get to this epicenter or whatever, this climax of whatever's going to happen this weekend. And we're just now at the beginning stages for Spain, and now Italy's going to be in trouble, and also France, because now the spotlight's on France now. So we have Italy right behind Spain, and France right behind Italy. And so when it was first a few $1 billion was needed to bail out Greece, that's the equivalent now in Spain. We're going for $100 billion right now. That's the first number we're going to get. We need $100 billion or thereabouts. So if Greece had a few billion that turned into 10 billion, that turned into tens of billions, and then 100 billion ultimately, or thereabouts, you know, I don't know about the very first part. I know they didn't go straight to 100 billion. I think there were some other little bailouts they were trying to do first with Greece. Nonetheless, they tried some things with Greece until they got to the big enchilada bailout money. And they didn't give it to them all in full either. They give them what they call tranches. Here's a little piece of it. As long as you implement austerity, okay, we'll give you another piece of it. Okay, worse austerity, worse job cuts, worse everything. Here's your next package. It's just absurd. Have your entire society be destroyed so that you can continue getting bailout money, in which you can't pay back those pieces of bailout money because the tax collecting base is absolutely shrinking in a devastating way, and they're scratching their heads. You know, these politicians. Oh, we've implemented austerity, and we've sold off some of the country's finest assets, and we've cut the jobs, as you said. We've cut the wages massively, as a matter of fact. We cut them even again after that. And I'll be damned if we are not even close to being able to pay you guys back. Meanwhile, that politician, he's not getting his cut. He's not getting a pay cut. Like the story I did the other day, the guy from Greece was making 1,500 euros a month, which is garbage, apparently. And I would agree. He just got a little letter. You're now going to make 800 euros a month. Sorry. Tough times in Greece. Sorry about that. You think that politician, Parliament, is taking a cut? No. And I'm quite surprised that they didn't do what ours did and just give them guys themselves raises. Well, we're working hard in here. We're working hard getting stuff done, son. We do work. We're getting stuff done. Oh, really? You mean like the healthcare thing that was going to be $1 trillion that is now estimated to be over $10 trillion? Like, how did that math, I mean, did you miss a number? Did you miss a decimal point? How does $1 trillion estimated fee for Obamacare turn into, like, it was either over 10 trillion. I almost want to say it was like 16 trillion, I think. It sounds so absurd. It's 16 times different than the amount. Can you imagine now? We need to go to a bank and get a loan so we can start this project. Oh, yeah? What are you doing? Little mining project we got over here. How much do you need? About $1 million. Oh, okay. Yeah, well, we can do that. Actually, we need a little bit more. Even though we've already signed the agreement, I need 16 million. You needed $1 million. Yeah. Yeah, I did. Did something happen devastatingly to your company? Why? How do you go 16 times where you were at? Actually, no. We just had the budgetary office re-look at it again. Well, wait a minute. Didn't they already look at it when you came to me with this $1 million estimate? Well, yeah, they did. They signed off on it. But now they're re-looking back at it, and they've come to a different conclusion. That's not slightly off, but 16 times different. Yeah. Yeah. So can we do this deal? No, get the hell out of the office. That's what would happen. Government, it's already signed into law. We think it's going to cost this much. If it costs a lot more, it doesn't matter. We don't care. It's just going to cost a lot more. Sorry about your luck. That's how they work. So it's just incredible that these people are in positions of power and they spend most of their day campaigning for money so they can get reelected. I mean, if you won the lottery and there was a way to campaign and win it again, you'd probably spend most of your time campaigning again to win the lottery. Why would you want to go out and physically work, get a minimum wage job, which is absurd, or even a normal, regular job that just pays on average is still crap too? Who wants to do that, man? I just won the lottery. And there's this system of once you win the lottery, you're eligible to use some of that lottery winnings to help finance your campaign. And when you do that, a lot of people will surround you with tons of money. Because as part of winning that lottery, you get to do favors for people. In other words, like I'm saying, government. So, oh, you want this special no bid contract? No problem. Just give me, $100,000 towards my campaign. I'll make sure it happens. Simple as that. Remember, a long time ago on Glenn Beck, they had the guy that, they said he was fondling some of his personnel or something, this congressman. Glenn Beck had him on his show back when he was on Fox News and said, I'm here the whole time. Let's hear it. Tell the people what's going on. And he basically beat around the bush, but then got into politics for a minute and explained. He said, Glenn, every single member in Congress, on average, will spend at least 8 hours of every single day not working for you, not working for the country, but trying to get campaign contributions. That's all they do. 8 hours of the day, maybe 2 or 3 after that will go towards actually doing something. Now, most people work an 8 or 9 hour day. So they're 8 hours. Oh, man, honey, you come home for dinner? Oh, I'm working late. Oh, you getting some legislation done? Some what? Legislation. No, I'm calling people for campaign contributions. I know, sweetie. I'll just reheat it when you get home. Give me a call. Okay, bye-bye. That's probably how the conversation goes. Meanwhile, people are out here on the street every damn day looking for work, begging for money. And I'm not telling you anything you don't know right now. So I can just stop right now. I've made the point I need to make. So on to one more video. Take care.